Iconic Man. Proudly brought to you by Men and Boys for Gender Equality in partnership with National AIDS and Health Promotion Agency, NAPA, under the Boys Arise.Nanogang campaign, inspiring men, transforming communities.
Yes, indeed. Relunga is the team leader at Men and Boys for Gender Equality, and he joins us every Monday around this time on Iconic Men. What's on the plate today, brother?
Thank you very much, Dola, and good afternoon. Is it afternoon already? Yes, good afternoon to your listeners. And today we are joined by very, very important people. Risimolla ka Moruti. Ha ke tsore protocoliari. Risimolla ka Moruti. Seithamo. Moruti, kindly introduce yourself.
Thank you very much. My name is Pastor David Seithamo. I'm the president of Evangelical Fellowship of Botswana.
And I've served at the National Children's Council, Moruti, and I think he's currently still also part of the National Children's Council. So he wears a lot of hats and he's done a lot of work, and it's a pleasure and an honor, Moruti, to have you today.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Moruti.
And then we have a lady that does not need any introduction. If you know about Bookcape, yes, it's part of our partners within the organization. Can you kindly introduce yourself, Mphusu?
Thank you so much, Ralunga. My name is Bridget Mphusu. I am the Chief Executive Officer for Botswana Christian Health and AIDS Intervention Program, Bookcape.
Boss.
And we are also celebrating, I don't know whether we celebrate or commemorate the month of prayer, but I think prayer is something that is good and worth celebrating, and we're encouraging in particular Borre to take the forth in terms of praying for our nation. And yesterday we had a lovely event, maybe someone like our month of prayer. How has it been going? Where did you launch it, and where are we currently?
Tota, it started in 1996, 29 years ago, when Botswana was facing a very big problem of HIV. There were too many deaths. And the president of that time, Ramasire, initiated a movement or a campaign where he's calling on the church to come in and assist. And so month of prayer was birthed. So it has been 29 years annually praying against HIV and social ills. And so on the 31st of August this year, we were in Kanyekotla with Mem Mamuputing, who is the assistant or the deputy assistant minister for the Ministry of for State President. She was launching it under the theme airing by His Grace, Generation Now. Our future, our responsibility. Let's end HIV and AIDS in Botswana, because we are looking at 2030 of zero new infections. Botswana is facing a lot of problems when it comes to infections among the young people. Yearly, we register 2,200 cases, new cases of HIV. And so that is why prayer will not stop. And so we have commemorated it, initiated it, and also launched it officially on the 31st. And as it is right now, every district in Botswana is holding these prayers on daily basis until the 30th, which is our Independence Day, 30th of September.
What would you like to see happen?
We would want to see zero infections, particularly looking at our babies. We have children in Botswana who are still born with HIV. We still have young girls who are born negative, but then they acquire the virus when they turn 15, because it has been proven that our young people start sex earlier. And so a lot of them are vulnerable because they get into relationships where they cannot negotiate safety. And so we are crying out to say, let us protect our girls. The infections are highly found in these young girls. And so we just want to talk to all the parents at the households, at the schools, to say, let's have our children delay their sexual debut so that they can engage in sexual activities when they understand what they are doing, when they can negotiate even condom use. And so that's one of the key challenges that we face. And also the issue of substance abuse, because a lot of them wake up in the morning not knowing who they slept with last night. And so that's a big challenge. And so we would want to see zero infections in our country.
Ma, we thank you for the work that you continue to do, and I know the organization is also reaching out in different districts and continuing the work. But yesterday was an amazing time. We had the country's leadership, from the president to the speaker and some of the cabinet members coming to pray, and this was an event that was organized by Moruti Seithamo. Moruti, maybe take us through the event. What trigged you, or what convinced you to come up with such an initiative?
Thank you, Relunga. having had the background that Bridget Mphusu has given to us, National Prayer Event is part of the activities within the month of prayer. But we found it very fit to engage with national leadership, starting from the president. We are actually targeting the three arms of government, the cabinet, parliament members, as well as the judiciary, other captains of different industries, as well as parastatals and non-government organizations, to say here as a country we are under siege. We've got societal issues that are putting us under a very difficult situation. Now, yesterday we managed to come together to commemorate, to have a convocation, to have a prayer together with the national leaders, as well as to launch this national prayer together with the president of the country under the theme Restoring the National Altar, Rebuilding Our National Moral Fabric Through Prayer, Love, and Accountable Leaders. So we need our leaders to be accountable enough. It shouldn't just be a story to say we are faced with societal problems, but we want to hear them, want to create a dialogue, want to help them, whereby prayer shall be launched in all the spheres that I've indicated before, so that at least the behavioral patterns, not only in leaders, but also inculcating or cascading them down to the young people, should change as we infuse, getting some inquiry through prayer from the mind of God. Also, probably, hopefully, that as we engage with national leaders, then our president, cabinet ministers, and everybody involved will think otherwise, because it's more centering on behavioral patterns that we have. We talk to people, we provide programs, we build infrastructures. But when behaviors, especially virtues, are not changed, then it's like water under bridge.
Moruti, one might ask, what does prayer do?
Prayer is a spiritual arm. Actually, prayer is the foundation and the backbone of every activity, all lives, anything we can't do without consulting God. Prayer is a communication between man and God, where people should be taught, discipled, or trained to know how to speak to God, not only at church levels, but even individually, to ask the Supreme Being to say, how can I command my day? How can I live my day today if I am I'm found to be having some situation that I cannot come out of them? So prayer can help the society. It can help the family unit. It can help the nation.
I asked this question because I think you've seen some people complaining and says, guys, it's gonna le bothata ba bo GBV, gonna le bothata ba bo HIV AIDS. Mehela ha re simolla as a nation re tle be re rapele be re nahela a mme go mo go a thusa.
No, very true. And I think a lot of things yesterday, having attended the event, were also based on faith. There was a lot of faith in terms of the speakers saying we need to have faith. There was a lot of speakers that came in and talked about how we have the ability of believing in a higher power besides just the work. Not only you're the hands of your work, but also your actions would manifest itself from your prayers. So I think Moruti, maybe Antuseha, when it comes to issues of prayer. What do we need to be doing as a nation for us not to be embarrassed to say I'm a Christian and I'm a man, and I would also want to chip in there to say, we see a lot of suicide because I picked up an element hope and in difficult challenges as men. How does that spirituality then help us to overcome the challenges that we see as men?
Men need to discover what is called manhood. Right from the scriptural perspective, God said, let us make men in our own image according to our likeness, and let them have dominion over the fish of the sea, over the birds and over the air, and over cattle and over all the earth, and over every creeping thing that creeps on the earth. That is to say that when God created man, he created him in the likeness of him. God is love. Man was created to be an expression of the same love. In our first state from the beginning, there is no immorality, there is no abuse, there is no violence, there is no murder. Now, because of the behavior, something mutated, something brought a change into our lives. So we now need to pause and reflect and try to help men to realize who he is. There's a cry, there's an anguish, there's an anger. At times we assume we leave men behind. Now we need to enlist them, to educate them, to disciple men. We shouldn't only disciple men when he's in church, but the church should rise and disciple men in the society so that his being, even the quest, the gap that is there, could be answered when he's made to know that, when he's made to know that he is man. Not man because he's putting on a trouser.
True.
Not men because it's masculine, but men because of the issue of manhood, the essence behind the intention of God.
I like that, Moruti. Mphusu, when I'm bringing you into this conversation, yesterday you were the director of ceremony, and you even said to the guest, when you leave here, you will tell them about our president. And for me, the president has taken the leadership to be that positive role model who is not ashamed to pray, who is not ashamed to say, I have faith and belief in God that things will change. What was your take? What was that key thing that you would be able to say to that person who didn't attend or did not see in regards to the leadership?
I think that for me, that was the highlight. Just seeing him closing his eyes and bowing down in prayer.
Wow.
That was the perfect thing that we really wanted. Because the month of prayer is about every household going to their knees and praying. And so it is during this time where we have men being absent from their families, where we have men abandoning their children. We would want to say, look at our president. He is a family man leading by example, and bowing down, seeking God's wisdom, and also admitting his limitations. Because prayer says that I acknowledge that I am inadequate. There is what I don't know. Oh God, come and help. And so we saw him doing that. And that's what we are asking our men to say. Don't try to act strong. Don't try to think you are a superhero. You are limited on your own. And this is one thing that we always tell to our women, because men do still. They commit a lot of errors. They are angry because we pressurize them unnecessarily. We make them provide for us things that they don't even have. And so we are encouraging our women that give our men a chance. Just let them lead, but lead according to what they have. And so one thing that I really loved about what the president demonstrated yesterday through his prayer is that we need men to get to, to show up and just to come in and lead our families. And I want to urge that let's just have men go back to I spend most of my time in the counseling room. Women are yearning for the leadership of men. Children are yearning for the fatherhood. And so just go back home as a father, as a man, and come. And one thing that I really want to emphasize, through the support of men and boys, we are able to offer HIV testing. And we just want to invite all the men all over the country to just come in and get our services. They are free. Men and boys through NAPA are supporting us with funds to help you access the best health care that you can get. And you prolong your life. You can even see meraka ya gago e gola just because you are there. You don't have to die early when we are there to save your life. So come and get tested, get on treatment. We are here to handhold you. You are not alone. Just know that if you haven't tested, you are alone, because people are coming and accessing our services. Thank you.
Moruti, one thing that I took was from the president when he talked about forgiveness and the power of forgiving. We're a peaceful nation.
Very.
But when it comes to forgiving each other, you know, he even shared gore ba bang ba sampe ba o mana gore hirile semamang o ileng gore kwa party e rileng ga wa irase ga wa revenge. Can we talk a bit more about the power of forgiving?
Iconic Man. Proudly brought to you by Men and Boys for Gender Equality in partnership with National AIDS and Health Promotion Agency, NAPA, under the Boys Arise.Nanogang campaign, inspiring men, transforming communities.
We were to touch base, Limuruti, on the power of forgiveness. I think a lot of us really struggle. Kana ki ipuelle ke re hey o itsore ka itsore be ke ira molato go kana ke sa ire sentle mme nna hela go itshwarela motho go dingalo ha ke ra go kgonagala ka re go dingalo tota gore re motho a mphoseditse e be ke tla ke mo itshwarela go sa berekwa. Talk to us about the power. Ga tebe ke blog.
The power of forgiveness, reconciliation. It's not easy anyway. Otherwise, one has to find it easy if ever a good path has been provided. One has to find it easy to forgive when we are forgiven. Because an issue of attitude. I talked about behavioral patterns that are counteracting the desire within us to do what is right. At times, the things that we want to do, we can't do, but the things that we don't want to do, we do. Therefore, if we do the things that we don't want to do, and we find ourselves failing to do what is good, then we are under a siege. We are controlled by the law, a certain law, which is the natural law. Now, for a person to easily forgive is when he allows the forgiver to pave a way for him. The forgiver here is Christ. The forgiver is God. So we have to seek. That's why
I feel bad now, Muruti.
That's why prayer here is trying to promote people to seek God, seek Him first, and His righteousness, and all these things, even forgiveness, shall be awarded unto us. There's a lot of expectation from the society across the board regarding what man is and what he should bring. These are the cultural and social expectations that are hitting across the board. Men provides, and if he fails, then expectations are not met. Men should be strong, stoic, and resilient, and if he doesn't, then obviously expectations are not met. And men should show leadership, whether in the family unit or across other sectors. If he doesn't, then he has failed. Now, when we fail, people relegate you to something else. Now, when people do that, even the person that you have relationship with, then it casts you under the rock, then where you cannot really come out because of such expectations in society. Now, men need to be actually empowered. They need to be enlisted. Churches and organizations need to really empower men to become men, so that such high expectations should be infused with understanding, a comprehensive understanding that men can fail. Now, if I've got my wife and she having some expectations from my side, if I don't show that I can fail, or if I hide my abilities somewhere, then obviously it brings a gap. But if I show her that I am weak, then I'm using her strength to cover up my weaknesses. Therefore, forgiveness is a very, very critical thing. It calls for reconciliation. It calls for remedial counseling. It calls for empowering people to understand why forgiveness must take place. Now, if I don't forgive, then the burden is with me. It's not with the person that has been offended.
And it's the truth, you know.
Yes, true.
When you don't forgive, that that anger is on you. Motho o sa mo itshware le o kgona go etela tshega he.
Hey, wena o sampo.
Wena ha o mona tshega go jumpela ko pele. We're at the end of the
no, thank you very much, Moruti. Thank you very much, Mphusu, for coming through. I think we will want to encourage men in our different spaces. We would want to encourage the different churches, the different religions to say throughout the month, throughout the year, let's encourage men. Let's be able to open and have conversations around the things that are happening in our country. We are the only ones that can be able to change it. So continue doing the good work.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Mr. Lunga, thank you so much for bringing these topics to the radio and always making time to talk to us on Gabz FM.
Thank you.
Iconic Man. Proudly brought to you by Men and Boys for Gender Equality in partnership with National AIDS and Health Promotion Agency, NAPA, under the Boys Arise.Nanogang campaign, inspiring men, transforming communities.